Hey, welcome everyone. This is Mike from zozostockwatch.com, and this is going to be your stock watch list for the 5th of September, Thursday. Hey, let's go ahead and get into it. We'll start with some of the news that came out after the bell. Then after that, we'll look at the markets a little bit, some sectors. Then we'll go and get into that stock watch list. This will be the last video for the week. We go dark Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then we'll be back at it with a couple of videos or a video on Sunday. Football season starts tomorrow night for all the NFLers out there. So gearing up for that for the first game of the season tomorrow night. So we start out this news courtesy of the Trade Exchange. Home earnings per share beat by 3 cents. Revenue miss. HOME at home group is moving down in after hours. NVTA proposed offering 200 million convertible senior notes on that one. MDB earnings per share beat by 2 cents. Revenue beat on MDB over in the software patch. They popped it up, drifting lower at the moment, down about $4 from its closing price currently. SMAR had earnings come out. That stock also in the software application space. Earnings per share beat by 8 cents. Revenue beat on SMAR, but they didn't like it. They're moving that one down, down about $4 after the bell. Tonight, VRNT earnings per share beat by 2 cents. Revenue misses on VRNT. AVAV earnings per share and revenue beat on that name on AVAV. That stock is moving up in the after hours about $3 in the after hours. CLDR Cloudera agrees to acquire Arcadia Data to accelerate time to insight for data analytics, and then they came out with earnings per share beat by 5 cents and a revenue beat. CLDR, I believe Carl Icahn is in this name, so a push up to about $8 and change. The stock trading at around $7.74, closed at $7.21. We had other news come out. Work earnings per share beat by 5 cents. Revenue beat on that one, but then they lowered their guidance on work. So this one is taking a hit. In the after hours, as you can see, this stock pushing down hard in the after hours. We had Palo Alto Networks over in the cyber space. Earnings per share beat by 5 cents. Revenue beat for Palo Alto Networks. Check it out. This stock was selling off, got down to that 180 price, and here's the reversal in the after hours and pushing it higher. So they might have said something on the conference call that calmed everybody's nerves. So they're pushing this one right back up. Stock trading at 216. So it'll be up $16 from the closing price from today. Let's see, we got TSM upgraded overweight at Morgan Stanley. TAST initiated a buy at Deutsche Bank. Those coming out after the bell tonight. Let's see, API data came out after the bell tonight. We had a build on crude oil of plus 400K barrels. Let's check oil in the after hours. This is the USO, the ETF for light sweet crude oil. Not too much damage here. They actually were popping it up today. Oil with a big comeback today from yesterday, ticking down a little bit in the after hours, so not too much damage there. BBBY, Bed Bath & Beyond, provides a strategic update in letter to shareholders. Let's see, targeted investments to drive efficiencies and stabilization. New CEO expected to be announced in the coming weeks for BBBY. Ticking up a little bit in the after hours on this name. And let's see, Blue Apron. I'm sorry, APPN, APPN, not Blue Apron, proposed public offering of Class A common stock on that name. AGIO had some news. You can pause the video if you'd like to read that. Sage Therapeutic announces New England Journal of Medicine publishes data from the phase 2 trial on Sage. Let's see if there's any reaction. Moving up a little bit here on Sage this evening in the after hours. Yum upsizing and pricing of notes offering. MNK weakness following circulation of company talking of restructuring. So let's check out MNK. That stock is moving down. The stock was trading at 259. We're down here. We lost a buck on MNK. Groupon director insider purchase here of 50,000 shares at $2.58 on GRPN. So that stock ticking up a little bit in the after hours on Groupon. USX also had a executive purchase over 71,000 shares at $4.30 on USX. AGYS CEO purchased 10,000 shares at $25.13 on this AGYS software application stock. So that's some of your news courtesy of the Trade Exchange built for traders by traders. So yesterday we had a sea of red when I showed you the heat map, courtesy of Finviz, and today we are in a sea of green. Even the banks got some buying today, 1.63% on Bank America, up over 1% on JP Morgan, a little under 1% on Wells Fargo, Citigroup jumping 1.36%. Visa, MasterCard, both jumping today. MasterCard up over 2% on the day, Amazon up fractionally for the day. Facebook had a very nice day, almost up 3% on the day. Twitter was up 3.34%. We traded that one in the service today. Twitter, we caught that at breaking $42.80. It climbed up to over $43 and beyond on that one. Acme was up almost 2% for the day. TRIP also climbing 1.70%. Google was up 1.9% on the day. That's some of your tech names. The semis were popping again today. Texas Instrument up 2.75. We had Intel driving up 4% on the day on Intel. So a big move there. Apple going into their event. I believe it's on September 10th. So Apple jumped 1.70% for the day. We did get some buying in some of the oils today with oil rebounding. So ExxonMobil and Chevron were up for the day. AbbVie climbing a little bit. J&J up fractionally for the day. AbbVie was up 1.5% for the day. Amgen was up fractionally for the day. As you can see here, ConocoPhillips was up almost 2.5%. Oxy climbing 2%. So the oil names got some buying. Hess was up almost 3% on the day. MRO climbing almost 3% on the day. Boeing recovering a little bit here, up fractionally for the day. Caterpillar jumping 1.77%. Let's go and look at some of the top news gainers for the day and losers. GEVO had some news this morning, drove that stock up 17%. GEVO gave a small trade during the day. HIMX popped today, up over 15%. Navistar jumping on their earnings 13%. IDRA up 13%. Box jumping. We talked about Box on the video last night, how Starboard had taken a 7.5% stake in BOX, and that stock was climbing today 12%. We had MIK, Michael's Stores, come out with earnings today. That stock jumping almost 12% on the day. To the downside, you had USAT down, Rare, RARE. AEO came out with earnings this morning. That stock down 12% on the day. BCEL dropping 4%, and JetBlue came out, and I believe they were downgraded on JetBlue, down almost 5% on the day on JetBlue. And that's some of your top gainers and losers, courtesy of the Trade Exchange. Bitcoin climbing today. Bitcoin never broke that 9,000 area, and now currently trading at 10,653 on Bitcoin. So let's go ahead and look at some of the action in the SPY. Basically a narrow day, but we are back above the momentum moving averages here, holding above the 5 EMA on my daily chart. We're coming up to the top of the range and hitting our heads against this 50 SMA. So we had that down day yesterday, then we get the gap up today. So it's kind of looking like a mix-mash of up days, down days here, very choppy in the SPY in the month of August and kind of carrying over to September. But we're back up at the top of the range. Bulls want to get us back above the 50 SMA. Bears would like to break down the 290 area on the market here. So we'll see how the markets are going to fare for tomorrow. Right now, you'd have to say, bulls are in charge, but they need to get a little progress and break out of this range. We've been holding this 150 SMA. We came as low as that 282 that we've been talking about on the videos, and kind of bouncing around the 150 SMA, the orange dotted line you see here. So today the NASDAQ was up 103 points. The Dow Jones was up 237 points. The transports were plus 120, and the S&P 500 plus 32 points for the day. So stocks bounced back to the top of the range on a narrow day in the SPY. We had oil up today. What was moving the markets was the Chinese services data came out last night, a little bit stronger and eased recession fears in China. Also, we had Hong Kong announce withdrawal of extradition bill overnight, so that settled down the riots and the protests going on in Hong Kong, and that got the overnight markets moving up, and then that carried over into our markets this morning. Let's see. We'll go ahead and look at some of the sectors. We'll take a look at the IWM. All right, not out of the water yet here on the IWM. We're still holding above that 145. We had broken down that 145 recently. Then we bounced back. But right now we're still below the 200 SMA, and eyes are still on this 145 area. Bulls want to get us back above this 150 and get back above the 200 SMA on the IWM, the Russell 2000, the IWC. The micro caps, as you can see, still trending down, unable to take out the 20 SMA on the IWC, so that's troublesome here. The IBB, the biotechs, maybe forming a hammer here, holding above 100, but still below the momentum moving averages here. We've formed hammers before and gotten some bounces, but we're still well below the 50 and the 200 SMA. So we'll see if they want to give us a continuation move in the IBB, the larger biotechs, the XBI, the smaller biotechs. A doji kind of a candle, not a clear-cut hammer here on this XBI, and still below 180 here, trying to hold above 78. But as you can see, trending down here on the XBI, so not anything too positive there. The thing that is positive is the SMH, back above the 50 SMA, back above that 115 area. Intel was very strong today. If we go ahead and check out the Dow, you can see Intel was one of the top gainers. Semiconductors, it makes up the majority of the holdings in the SMH, so a 4% move there on the SMH, on Intel, so that drove the SMH up today. Also, you had MU got a price target increase up to $50 today on Micron, so that was moving up, and WDC was moving up in sympathy with Micron. But as you can see, kind of indecisive, inverted hammers here on the daily charts, right? So you had this pop all the way up near 62, and then they kind of sold it right back off. So we get an inverted hammer. Now, if we break the bottom of this hammer, you would think we're going to come back down and maybe at least retest the 5 and the momentum moving averages here on WDC DC. MU, kind of the same thing. They popped it all the way up, then they pulled it back. It faded off here a little bit. STX, also in the same space, had the strongest candle of the day. So this stock was green all day. They pushed it up all day from about $50 all the way up to $52 and closed it up near the highs. So STX having the strongest day out of the data storage stocks. Let's see, Starbucks, they lowered their guidance today. So Starbucks was down, fractionally for the day. It did come back down and test the 50 SMA area and then bounce back, as you can see here on the 5-minute chart intraday. So they pushed Starbucks down. This is when they came out with their lower guidance, and then they reversed it right back above VWAP here, green line here, VWAP. They get it back above VWAP for a nice push up and recovery on Starbucks. Box I talked about last night on the video. This was strong, pretty strong all day on Box, with Starboard taking a piece of the pie, coming in there and getting a 7.5% stake on that one. Coop had earnings. This stock popped up to 154 for the day, and then it kind of faded off for the rest of the day. So we have this kind of indecisive candle here. I would say Coop needs to hold above the 140 area and possibly, if it can, get back over 150 for maybe another continuation move. That was a couple of stocks we talked about on the video last night. So as far as some of the sectors here, Nougat was up again, another strong move in gold, up almost 6% on the day. JNUG climbing 5% on the day. Silver continuing to move up, getting a little parabolic here on silver. SLV, the ETF for silver, it's been straight up. So you would think at this point, short term, that we're going to get a little bit of a pullback in that. The OIH was bouncing as oil was bouncing today. Nat Gas, UNG, turning the corner here on Nat Gas. XOIL, which is light sweet crude oil. This is back above the $55 area, battling the 50 SMA, getting back above the 200 SMA here, still below that $60 a barrel level here on light sweet crude oil. So yesterday they sold it off. We recovered today on that. To the downside today, you had the VIX losing steam. We have a 17 handle on the VIX. We're still holding above the 200 SMA on the daily chart, but we are back below that 20 handle on the VIX. So some steam coming out. MJ was down again today, 1.50% on the MJ. FND, maybe some of the the hurricane stocks selling off a bit. Some profit taking going on in those. So the Floor and Decor holdings moving down a little bit for the day. The IBB was up fractionally for the day. Over in the S&P sector performance, we had the XOP, the oil and exploration. That was up almost 3% on the day, but still a lot of work to do on the daily chart there. That was one of your bigger movers. The XME, the metals and mining, popping a little bit for today. And then the XLC, the communication services sector, getting back above the 50 SMA on the XLC. To the downside, they had the XHE holding the 200 SMA, but the healthcare and equipment ETF moving down today. The healthcare stocks ETF was up fractionally for the day, the XLV. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the watch list. ABEO is on our watch list today, trying to get up over this $3 area. Actually, in after hours, it's trading at 308, bidding up to 308. It had been down below the 50 SMA, 4.9 million shares, big volume. Strategic moves here, thinking about, I guess, selling themselves off. So ABEO popping up, so that'll be on watch. Ali over in the financials, holding up pretty pretty well, trying to get up over this $32 area, maybe a possible swing trade. You're playing up against this $31 area on Ali, a financial stock. Ameren moving up today, strong all day on Ameren. So this stock will be on watch. 9.6 million shares. They had news today that was popping the stock. So check your news sources for the Ameren news this morning. So this was moving up, so we'll keep that on watch. APHA out of the cannabis space. This one is trying to get back over the 100 SMA, trying to turn the corner. 3.3 million shares, was strong into the close today, holding up in the after hours tonight on that one. ARDX had a big move the other day on ARDX. This stock popped up almost to $6. An inside day today, so we'll be watching this one for an intraday setup tomorrow. BBBY, Bed Bath & Beyond. This one battling the 50 SMA. If they can get it up over this 970 area, 965, you might get a continuation move in this one. Keep it on watch. CLDR had earnings after the bell tonight. Carl Icahn is in this name. So we'll see if this one wants to give us any kind of a trade tomorrow. I'll have to wait for an intraday setup. ConocoPhillips, if oil holds up, you might want to try a swing trade in this name, kind of a bottoms up, trying to turn the corner. Right here, around 53.30, and then you could kind of play up against $52 on ConocoPhillips. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes only, so any trades that you take are your trades. Coop, I'll be watching this one for the next few days to see if we can get an intraday trade out of this on Coop. DGLY doesn't look like it's done yet. Lower volume today, but had been getting some bigger volume. Has kind of a flag pattern going on here. It's basing under $1.50, so keep it on watch. GEVO had some news. We got a trade out of this one. Not a super huge trade, but a trade nonetheless. So GEVO will be on watch. 3 million shares came into it today. GNCA is kind of ticking up here in the after hours a little bit. GNCA trying to turn the corner. Only 400,000 shares, though, in the name, so that's a negative on that one, but we'll watch it. Maybe more volume can come in. HIMX trying to turn the corner. 2 million shares. This one has been a beaten down name. Maybe some short covering here, some dip buyers showing up, so we'll keep an eye on HIMX. Kirk was getting some volume today. Kirk pushing up into the close. KIRK, specialty retail store. So this one maybe trying to make that turn. We'll keep an eye on it. Lumber liquidators popping. It came up to the 200 SMA and then got pushed right back down. 3.7 million. So they popped it all the way up to that $11 area. Look at this push. Then it kind of faded off. Not a favorite, but we'll keep it on watch. Let's see, MTCH, possible swing trade in this name if it can take back $86 on match. Keep it on your watch. NBEV, maybe, this one trying to maybe turn the corner here on NBEV. Want to see a little bit more signs of life in NBEV, but, it is trying to battle here and hold around $3 on NBEV. So keep it on your watch. Qualcomm, semis have been strong. So Qualcomm, if they can get it up over maybe 77.50, possible swing trade in this name. Riot was getting some buying today, 1.4 million shares, turning back up, still below the 50 SMA, but with Bitcoin moving up, looks like Riot is trying to, has a base here and is trying to turn up. So we'll see. Square, this one still hasn't broken down through 60 yet. If it does break 60, you could get that flush down. You see the battle going on here at $60. Now, if they can turn it back up and maybe get it back above the 10 SMA, 62.56 is the 10 SMA, so maybe over 63 bucks. This one could get going to the upside, but watch that $60 break to the downside for that one. Tilray was popping into the close again. It popped yesterday into the close, then it faded off. Popped again, faded off. So right now, over $31 could be real interesting on this name. You see it came up to 31 back here, gave you that false breakout over 31 here, then faded off. So keep an eye on Tilray if they can get it up over that. Keep tops on watch. It was popping today, popped last night. Tops 1 for 20 reverse split. We talked about it on the video last night. Twitter looking a lot better here. We traded this in the service today at Zozo StockWatch, so Twitter held up pretty well today. I'm holding a partial on this one on Twitter, so we'll see if we get further carry through with Twitter. But if it ever breaks 44, you have a breakout going there on Twitter. VFF holding the 200 SMA here, holding it here, that $10 area, turning back up in the cannabis space. So keep an eye on this one. Volume only 700,000 shares, but VFF trying to hold up here. Strong close, holding up in the after hours. All right, this is Mike from zozostockwatch.com. If this video has helped you in any way, down below this video is the like button. Hit that like button, please. Smash that like button. Don't be a freeloader, video freeloader. After you watch the video, please hit that like button down below. If you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe button so we can help grow this channel. This is Mike from zozostockwatch.com. Have a good day trading tomorrow. We'll be back at it on Sunday with another video. Enjoy your football, folks, and see you back with another video on Sunday.